Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy back at it again. Welcome to another edition of the Rico Report. You guys already know what it is. It's the Buffalo Fanatics, and we are here Friday night, a couple days before a big pivotal game, the last game potentially of the season, or we keep it rolling to our 8th game win streak. But like this one, it's a tough one. Why? Not because we're facing a juggernaut of a team. We're facing a divisional team. And you guys already know what it is. Whenever you play a team in your own division, you play them twice a year. And this year's no different because this is the third time we are facing the Miami Dolphins. And it's not going to be it's not going to be an easy just sleep on these guys and let's go. Because usually when teams sleep on other teams, and we've seen big, huge upsets in sports in general, because everyone loves an underdog story. Everyone does. No matter how you look at it, you know what I'm saying? A big team, a big-time team that's supposed to win the Super Bowl or high on the list of teams that were supposed to win the Super Bowl are facing a team with a lot of challenges right now. And the biggest challenge for the Miami Dolphins is that they don't have their main guy, their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. They actually deemed him out. He is not out of protocol. So now Skyler Thompson has to come in and start for these Miami Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? These Miami Dolphins got to put away their chanclatas. You know what I'm saying? And then put on some Timbos, put some Tim boots on and come over to Buffalo because it's gonna be nippy. It's gonna be nippy, man. If you're one of those guys that likes to wear, polyester shirts and the nips are gonna be popping out and things, put on a hoodie. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to put on a hoodie, big fella, because it's going to be a fun day, hopefully for the Bills account, that's for sure. But it's going to be fun. Now, I was just on the AFC East roundtable. I'm not sure if you guys were able to catch up on that. How did me and Z-Bot do? How did me, Z-Bot, and Dan do? We had clearly the advantage. You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins are trying to find a way to have some kind of hope. Because the Dolphins right now, they remind me of the Bills of 2000 to 2015, 2014. Because 2015, we started to, really start to find our way a little bit. We started to kind of have some success. We started getting some players on the team. But really, our success came 2016, 2017. But for 15 to 16 years, we always fell into the trap of hope and then being crushed. How often did you feel that way? Because that's how I felt. And I got sick and tired of it. And that's what pretty much got me into podcasting, because I wanted to talk about my frustrations and why we weren't winning and all that good stuff, right? And here we are today in a beautiful, it's a beautiful transition from frustration to I don't want to say jubilation just yet. Well, we may get there soon. But at one point, there was a point where we were always in these games and we had hope, and then we got crushed, and that was the worst part. If I knew I was going to get beat down, it is what it is. But the Bills always gave you something to okay, wait a minute now. We probably are in this game. We probably got it. And then there you go. You know what I'm saying? You guys already know what it is. So we're in a position now that we have high expectations for our team. And that's how it should be. The Dolphins, on the other hand, they have nothing to lose. And what's gonna hurt worse is that they may keep it close for a little bit to give them enough hope. And then it's gonna be dashed. And it's tough. We've been there before. You know what I'm saying? And it's not fun. Yeah, Bills fans, we know it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? When you think you got it, you thought you got Tom Brady, and then he comes in and does a last minute freaking thing that happens, and it's tough, man. It's tough. Anyway, I digress. But I do have some guests that are going to be coming on. I have my man Jonah coming back You guys had a really good time with Jonah. You guys loved him. So you know what? And that's my guy. We've known each other for years. So he's definitely coming back. You know what I mean? Represent Toronto right now. He's in Toronto right now. By the way, speaking of Toronto, I was talking to my sister today, and she lives in Alabama, and she's coming to visit in Ottawa. So I'm gonna go visit my mom's in Ottawa. So I'm bringing the whole family over there, right? And I don't know, when people go to another region for a long time, they then start to like adapt and start speaking like them or start doing certain things. And we're sitting there. If anybody knows, when you say, if you're going to Toronto, you say Toronto. That's it. It's Toronto. You go to T-Dot, you go to Toronto, you go to T-O. Sometimes we'll say that. You say Toronto. My sister was like, she was talking. I was like, yeah, I need you to bring something for me. And then I guess her husband was like, yeah, but where's our layover? And she goes, Toronto. I beg your pardon? Toronto? You don't pronounce the T's you only pronounce the first T in Toronto. That's it. You don't go Toronto. I was like, Rebecca, stop. Don't be doing that. Anyway, and like, I spent some time in Buffalo, Montreal. Yo, if you go to Montreal, you spend enough time in Montreal, you're gonna start, you know, mispronouncing some words and adding a H in that bitch. So we don't want that. But even in Buffalo, y'all have this thing with the sound. That you know what I'm saying? Josh, I don't know, like Josh. Instead of saying Josh, y'all will say Josh. What is Josh? Evan doesn't believe. You know what? I'm going to bring Evan on here because I need to bring him on. He's shaking his head, and I'm sick of his nonsense. So I'm going to bring it on because it's true. Y'all say Josh.
No. Well, I don't know about like everyone in Buffalo personally, but I know I don't. I don't know if that's just because I have a little Canadian family, but it's Josh Allen. It's Josh. It's Josh Allen.
It's like y'all say, y'all like Rochester. You guys will say Rochester. What is a ra?
It's Rochester. You gotta say like it's like raw. You gotta say like it's like raw, like Josh.
Am I making
Rochester?
Am I making sense though? Like, there's a thing, there's a way you guys say your words, but it's the A. It's the A part. Then I catch it and I'm like, oh yeah, I know where you're from when I hear that. Anyway, and I saw you shaking your head, so I had to bring you on there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't fall victim to saying Josh, but I'll say Josh. Like I won't. Like I'm not that the normal Buffalonian going Josh.
Yeah, is that
Josh Allen?
It's that Western New York accent that you guys have this like Brian Jacobson. I don't know if I can say it, but Brian Jacobson knows it. He's like, it's that Western New York accent. It's a nasally accent. It's like not a whiny thing per se, but it's a distinct accent that you guys have.
Yeah.
It's what it is, man. Anyway, I had to bring my guy Evan on just because I saw you shake your head there. All right, I'll catch you on that. I'll bring you on a little later. That's my guy Ev. But anyway, so this guy Evan looks like young Austin Powers. Young Austin. So folks, huge game this week. It's win or go home. It's win or go home. Bada Bing Crosby knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's a nasally A. And I don't know how to do it. But like you guys, there's some words and there's some things you guys say. It's just like and I mostly hear with Josh. Oh my God, if you don't believe in Josh, is gonna Josh. Y'all need to stop with that. Pronounce the O, please. Pronounce the O. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I digress. So you give me the thumbs up. We say Mario. Rico says Mario. You know what? I'm actually gonna bring my man Jonah. This is perfect. I'm gonna bring my man Jonah on, and I'm gonna prompt him to say it without even prompting him to say it, and then we'll go from there. And listen, Chris says it right, man. It's like we're going to I'm gonna go into the car and then we'll wash it. And we'll wash. I don't know how you, but anyway, you guys catch what I'm saying. But anyway, Jonah, you ready? Give me the thumbs up. Thumbs up, Jonah. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me bring my guy Jonah on. Let me just take my banners off here and bring my guy Jonah. Jonah, what's happening, brother?
What's happening, Rico?
What's happening?
To be back.
Playoff
Rico report.
Playoff Rico report. Playoff R is what more like it. But listen, you as a young kid played video games. Did you play video games?
I did play video games. Yes.
What were those two Italian dudes? Luigi and the other guy's name was
Mario.
Mario? Was it Mario?
I say Mario. Were you expecting me to say Mario? I say Mario.
I was expecting to say to Mario.
Yeah.
Because I always say Mario, and they're like, it's not Mario, it's Mario. I was like, Potato.
I heard the conversation backstage, and it's funny. You were talking about the Buffalo accent. I actually know the technical linguistic term for what you're referring to.
Oh,
not to come off as a pretentious douchebag, but
do it.
What you are referring to is the Northern City vowel shift. It's the way people speak in Buffalo, Michigan, Chicago. Instead of saying like they won't say the word clock. They'll say like clack. You know, like it's the Northern City vowel shift. And so I actually just weirdly enough knew about that, and that's what you're referring to. And it's where they say it on their tongue. They speak at like maybe it's the top of the tongue or the bottom of the tongue. I'm not actually sure, but that's what creates that accent. So tell the fans, the viewers of Buffalo Fanatics to look up the Northern City vowel shift, because I presume that's how many of them speak.
The Northern City vowel shift. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Vowels been shifted.
When I look at my
linguistics lesson.
Listen, I'm here for it, because when I look at my clack right now, and we got my man Kevin Guerard that's going to be showing up soon, and hopefully we'll be able to hear him talk about Josh Allen and see how he plays out. And I'm gonna actually prompt him to try to catch him saying Mario, but he's such a subdued, quiet dude. So we'll see how that plays out. But you've seen Kevin before, but this will be the first time you guys are both on the same show with each other. So that'll be fun. So when Kevin, I gave him the link. So when Kevin shows up, we'll prompt him in. So here is my question to you, Jonah. I need to know. I mean, the last time we spoke was prior to the Bills-Dolphins game, and there was a little bit of confidence in you, but you also were a realist, and you knew that I don't think we were gonna have this game, and you were correct. But it was closer than I anticipated the game to be. Much closer than I anticipated the game to be. This is going to be a little different now. But before we get into what's going to transpire in the next couple of days, how did you feel after that game? Well, actually, you guys went to the Texans. You guys beat the Texans, and then you guys went on an epic losing streak. I need to get your perspective. I need to get your understanding on what, as a Dolphins fan, you're going through, and then hearing the news about Tua not coming back, and then now you're into the playoffs. I need a timeline of how your emotions and how you felt.
If you recall, Rico, when I was on this show 3 weeks ago, I had expressed serious concern about the remaining schedule. I was worried about the Packers game. I was worried about the Patriots game, and I was also worried about the Jets game. And I said to you, look, best case scenario for this team, we limp into the playoffs and get smoked in the wild card round. And here we are. We're the biggest underdog in NFL playoff history. Skyler Thompson is our quarterback. And this is best case scenario, you know? So I'm enjoying the best case scenario. I'm counting my blessings that we get a playoff game, because this is the best I hope for. So I'm not bemoaning the situation like many other Fins fans are.
Now, here's the deal.
I'm grateful.
You're looking at, and I know you're grateful because you made the playoffs, and it took a few things to happen, the Bills to win, for you guys to go with an epic and tough matchup against the Jets, because the Jets are a good defense. And that's one thing that I have to give credit to the Dolphins with their 7th round draft pick going up against the Jets. Now, obviously, Joe Flacco being the quarterback made a huge difference. Had it been Mike White, maybe the outcome would have been different, but one will never know. But that Jets defense still is a solid defense, and you guys were able to prevail and get that win. But y'all lost some games along the way. Were you not worried that you guys are not going to make the playoffs? And like, we're limping into this playoffs, so they can't be good. There's when you ramp up, when you have momentum, but like there's no momentum. So like, how as a Dolphins fan are you feel like, oh man, I don't know how this is going to go?
I'm relieved we made the playoffs for the simple reason that if we had lost the final 6 and missed the playoffs, Stephen Ross would have done something absolutely insane. He would have done something
drastic,
rash, and impulsive. He would have fired Greer. He would have fired the coach. It would have been a disaster. So by making it to the playoffs, we've assured ourselves of at least one more season of Mike McDaniel, who I I'm not as enthusiastic as I was at the beginning of the season.
Oh,
but we can't keep firing coaches every other year or every season. It just creates all sorts of instability, especially with our contracts. You can't bring on a new coach with all these veteran contracts and expect him to kind of just keep going with that roster. He's going to want to tear it apart, and we'd be doing another rebuild. So
you guys can't do that. You can't.
We cannot do it. This has not been a great rebuild. I mean, by year 4, it should be paying some dividends. And here we are, 13.5-point underdogs in the wild card round. And I think Tua would account for maybe a touchdown, but still, I mean, there's concerns about Tua, about the long-term future of the team. And so this playoff game, it's a nice little distraction because after Sunday, we're going to have to face the reality of a very kind of uncertain offseason and whether or not we're headed towards another rebuild.
Now, here's the you guys were I would say you guys were in a rebuild. And then I don't know how it happened, but in rebuild, it went from rebuild to like you're a contender. And usually the rebuild it's gradual until you're like, okay, we start seeing things. But you guys were in the middle of a rebuild, and then all of a sudden, Tyreek, Armstead, freaking, you start trading for players. You bring in Mostert and great free agent offseason. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing you guys like top of the chain. But then it's like reality finally struck, and you guys are back down to where you're supposed to be, still amongst and in the middle of a rebuild. But things could shift because now rumors are that y'all want to might get rid of your coach to bring on Mr. Sean Payton if he's interested in the Dolphins roster and this whole franchise. Potentially Tom Brady wanted to stay in Florida to be closer to family. So, and he's probably most likely gone from Tampa. Could Tom Brady be coming to Buffalo? Florio thinks it's a possibility. Like, when you guys as fans hear this type of stuff, are you more like, bring it on, that's what we need? Or like, dude, just give me stability. I want my head coach to stay. Give Tua another opportunity because he deserves it. Or are you like, yo, we ready to go in a different direction with this quarterback and hold head coach thing because that didn't work out for us? How do you feel?
Well, I don't think they'll get Sean Payton because you need trade compensation to get Sean Payton, and the Dolphins don't have any draft picks, right? And so you have to give the Saints probably at least the first. They're going to start a bidding war for Sean Payton, so we can't get him. We've traded our draft picks. Brady's a possibility, and I am ready to kind of give up on Tua, for durability reasons. But I also know that if we let Tua walk, he'll go to some other team and he'll become, Drew Brees, a perennial Pro Bowler. So whatever decision we make, I'm positive it's going to be the wrong one. If we keep Tua, right, he'll remain this injury-plagued quarterback who kind of disappoints you. And so I just don't expect anything to work out.
I feel for you guys, and it's a tough one. And Postmaster doesn't feel for you guys whatsoever because he says, hey, I'm just stopping by, brothers. Hyde and Crowder coming back. The band's back together, getting back together, boys. Let's go. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Cheers. Bang. We hit that shit, and we go from there. So here's the deal with the Hyde news, and I'm not sure if you've been hearing about it, Jonah. I know you kind of keep it to the Buffalo streets, but it turns out that they've put both Crowder and Hyde in the 21-day window to start practicing, and the team has a decision to make within that window to activate these two players. And we were so elated to hear that these boys are practicing, because when this team is completely healthy, which is so disappointing, but this team was destined to win this whole thing with everyone healthy. Von Miller coming off the edge, Micah Hyde and Poirier in the back end, you know what I'm saying? And Jameson Crowder taking over for Cole Beasley in the slot. Like, it was supposed to be like money. And then the injuries happened, and you know how the season goes. You get nicked up. That's just the way it is. So these boys have an opportunity to come back. Now, here's the deal. Sean McDermott decided to poke a hole in our I guess confidence level, because he says, hey, by the way, if you guys think that Hyde is going to be playing this game, it's not happening, which we understood. But we're like, okay, but he's definitely going to be playing next week, barring winning against the Miami Dolphins, playing the Bengals. He also said, not happening. He's not going to play that game too. Like, you got everybody hyped up to get Hyde back, and now just to kind of poke a hole in it. I don't know if he's just joking or he's just kind of messing around with us and he's going to change the game, but neither here nor there. But I figured that was interesting to see and hear. Now, getting back to this Dolphins and what you guys are doing. Because currently, right now, we're not going to talk about Tom Brady. We're not going to talk about what we're doing next year, because that offseason talk, I'll leave that for you guys for next week, because that's when you guys can start your offseason talk. But right now, I need to know, man, and I'm going to ask Kevin that when he gets here. How do the Dolphins win this game? Honestly. And I don't want to hear keep Josh on the sideline. Easier said than done. Easier said than done, because you're going up against a damn good defense in Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? You got to have sustainable drives and keep it going, and I can't see that happening, because you guys have explosive players. These guys are too explosive to just making a methodical drive. So give me something, man. How do you guys win this game?
You know, the odds are low when everyone on Dolphins Twitter, they're out sharing the Rick Moranis Little Giants memes. Like, that's what we've become. And coincidentally, Mike McDaniel actually is the closest thing the NFL has to Rick Moranis. So it's a perfect analogy. How do we win this game? I mean, so many things have to kind of bounce in the right direction. One, Josh Allen's got to be he's got to be careless in the red zone. You're gonna move the ball. That's been kind of the team's kryptonite. When you guys have lost this season, usually you can attribute that loss to Josh Allen throwing an INT in the red zone. So we need some of that. And it would be nice if X or Javon were able. Javon's played well this year, but we've generated like 14 turnovers the entire season.
Yep.
The entire season. Is that it? It's unbelievably low. So we need some turnovers. One, we need a special teams play. People are saying that we might put Tyreek back there to return some punts. Maybe he can make something happen on special teams. We need Jason Sanders cannot miss any kicks. He's got to be on his game, because missed field goals are turnovers. You miss a field goal, it swings momentum. So Absolutely. Jason Sanders, because we're not going to be moving the ball up and down the field, we're going to need to make those field goals. And then we got to get, like, Salvan Ahmed has to have the game of his life, because I think he's the X factor. Jeff Wilson's a little banged up. Really? He hasn't played as well since he had that hip injury against the Chargers. Salvan Ahmed, he's got to really kind of step up. He's played well in limited opportunities. And Durham Smythe, because I think that those are the two kind of X factors. I know people are saying Gesicki, but Durham Smythe plays more snaps because he's more of a two-way tight end. And so we need to just kind of play ball control, pound the rock with Salvan Ahmed, and see if we can hit Durham Smythe on a few deep corners. And then obviously we need Waddle and Hill to make plays, but they're going to have to make plays after the catch. And that's the thing, right? Like, it's pitch and catch. You got Tyreek Hill running a drag route. It's a simple throw. Get him the ball. I mean, that's what Tua was doing all season. Pretty much. He'd hit Waddle on a little 10-yard drag route, and he would take it 90 yards. So maybe that could happen. Maybe it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Just get the ball in their hands. But all those things have to happen, and the defense has to play extremely disciplined, minimize big plays. And then maybe there's an opportunity. Maybe you get into the second half, the pressure gets to Buffalo, because you guys have so much riding on this game. You cannot lose this game. If Buffalo loses this game, it's an absolute disaster.
Let me tell you something. If Buffalo loses this game, I'll do a post-game show, and then I'm gone. You won't hear from me for a long time. I'm shutting it down. Bobby never does live shows. It's going to be Bobby. It's going to be the Bobby Report. It's going to be Bobby and Evan just just having a good time. And Bobby won't show his face, so it'll just be an avatar of Bobby, and he's just going to be talking shit. I will die if the Dolphins beat the Bills. I am done. Yeah. I'm shutting it down for the season, for the off season. You won't hear from me. I'm going to hiatus. I'm just gonna be up here in Nova Scotia and just hang out, eat lobster, and everyone knows I don't eat lobster. I don't like lobster. I cannot have the Bills lose to the Dolphins. It's detrimental to my health if it happens. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm grumpy. My kids won't like me. My wife is gonna be like, "Hey, babe, you ready to come upstairs?" Hell no, I'm not coming upstairs. I'm not giving you nothing. You ain't getting this. You ain't getting nothing. I'm done. I'll be in depression right now. It's not gonna happen. But luckily, we live in we're not in the multiverse, so that's not gonna happen. So it's the reality is we're gonna handle business. But I don't want you to just be on this island by. And that was a great explanation, by the way, because those are the ways. I didn't realize you guys only have 14 turnovers all year. Is that
incredible? Yeah.
Golly, I thought I honestly, because your defense is not a terrible defense. You guys got some ballers on that. They just need to go up this game, and that's the big thing. That's the big thing.
They played reasonably well the last month of the season. They've been hung out to dry by the offense, but all year it's been a problem. They just can't, for whatever reason, they cannot generate turnovers, and that's what kind of carried us last season. And so people don't realize how there was one game, 14 or 15 turnovers all season, and 3 of them came against Kenny Pickett in his first start or his second start. So it's been very, very frustrating, and you need those turnovers to win the NFL. You cannot win many games when you have a negative. Like I would be surprised if we didn't have the worst turnover differential in the NFL, or amongst the worst.
Well, you guys are up there because you guys are at -6. I think I saw the statistic was -7 is your turnover ratio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, -7.
I thought it was higher.
Yeah. -7 is your turnover ratio. Kev, whenever you're ready, you give me the thumbs up. Evan will bring you in. Folks, if you guys are tuning in for the very first time, this is the Rico Report. And I've got 2 special guests, 2 friends of mine, actually. And I got my man Kev. What's up, Kev?
What's going on, buddy?
AKA Papa Peck. Listen, you haven't popped a peck for us in a long time. Are you able to give me one now or no?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I went yeah, I'm real happy right now. I went and played last night. I had some buddies that were like, you want to come? We rented a gym. You want to come just shoot around? I said, oh, shit, I haven't played in a long time. Yeah, I'll come. I show up. We're not shooting around. It's 4-on-4, full court. I'm so tired. You know what I mean? At one point, I lost my peripheral vision. I'm just seeing like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like it was bad. It was bad.
Is that how the Dolphins are going to feel tomorrow on Sunday?
No, they won't. They'll be over by the first quarter, so they'll have plenty of time to catch their breath.
Yo, you're such a fool. Well, listen, I've been talking to my man Jonah. By the way, Jonah, Kevin, Jonah. You guys have
nice to meet you, man.
You as well.
Actually, me and Jonah, we played football against each other and with each other. So that's the familiarity between myself and Jonah and Kev. We've been friends for some time now. So here's the deal, Kev. Big game for you guys. You guys are clearly the big underdogs and absolutely have nothing to lose. And I'm sure you feel that way. But I asked Jonah the same question, and I'm going to ask you. You guys went on a 5-game losing streak, and then you limped into the playoffs. During that 5-game losing streak, and in those 5 weeks, you find out that you're not going to get Tua back. What is the mind frame of a freaking Dolphins fan right now? Like, what's your mind frame? What's in your mind right now? Is there any sense of confidence at all? I need to hear it, man.
I'm pretty confident that we can clear up some cap space and do well in free agency. I started looking. I targeted a couple guys.
Oh yeah, who you got?
I'd really like to see us sign Mecole Hardman. I think if you dump Wilson's a good player. He just doesn't seem to fit in here. But if you dump him for like a 7, so someone takes his salary off the books, I'd like to turn that into Hardman, because we're, in addition to having then Hardman, Waddle, and because Waddle can play slot, Tyree can play slot, but especially Waddle, he played a lot of slot for us his rookie year. But and if one of those guys misses a game or 2, you still have that speed element. But man, we need help on special teams. Watching Nyheim Hines and the difference he's made for you guys, man, it'd be really nice. Like, that's the one thing about Jakeem Grant I miss, is at least when he was miserable as a receiver with hands of stone, but he was a threat to take one back. Yeah. And I think our longest punt return this year is under 20 yards. Our longest kick return's like 31 yards. Like it's been miserable. Thanks for giving us Danny Crossman, by the way. That's a real present.
You don't miss seeing Jakeem muff punts? I sure miss that.
Yeah, but like at least once a year he's taking one back. You know what I mean? There's always that hope. Whereas now I'm just praying they don't fumble it. Like, there's no hope they're going to do anything with it. They're just like, Wilson looks like he's catching a loaf of bread out there. I'm wearing his jersey, but the poor snowman, like, oh my God, Javon Holland hasn't met a punt. He doesn't want a fair catch.
So is that who your punt returner is, Javon Holland?
No, he's like, they've rotated. Like, Holland's the guy they usually put back when they're near the 20 for so he won't muff, he'll do the inside the 20.
Yep.
And then they've been using Cedric Wilson lately to return punts, but
Cedric, not good. That's right. I got this question for both of you guys, and obviously I got the answer already from my man Jonah. But Kev, honestly, I need you to find the optimism somewhere. I need you to find the. You're talking about playing basketball. And you play four full court 4-on-4 is insane. First of all, that's just whoever did that. Go F yourself. Number one. But tell me, man, how can the Dolphins win? How can the Dolphins win this game? And I want you to find ways. Don't keep Josh Allen on the sideline. I'm hoping that you guys mess up. We get that part. But like, I need some technicalities. How can you guys win? Where are your advantages in this game?
Advantages is our defensive line versus your offensive line.
Okay.
Advantages is whatever crap tackle you're going to put against Phillips. Maybe Ingram has one of his games that he seems to have against you guys. That's the advantage. And I know you guys hate him, but Christian Wilkins usually wrecks shop in there for you guys too.
He sure does.
But that's the advantage. Yeah. Our defensive line is way better than your offensive line. That's it.
Really? That's it?
Well, I mean, like, we can't throw the ball because Skyler's horrendous. Like, he's really bad. Like,
okay, hold on. Time out. So I was just on the show with TD Finn's Talk. I'm sure you guys know who that is.
Oh man.
There was Dudley Do Right, excuse me. He was on the show as well. And we had K Flexen, another Dolphins, but he's more of a gamer YouTube guy. But I mean, he does some Dolphins content as well. But anyway, and I asked him, I'm like, jokes aside, Skyler Thompson. I don't know anything about Skyler Thompson. What are Skyler Thompson's strengths? Like, what can you, if you need to tap in and lean in on Skyler Thompson, what is it about him that can kind of get you guys over the hump? And their response, I'll tell you what their response was afterwards, but I'm going to give you guys the platform to talk about it. Jonah, I'll start with you first. Give me 1 point, and I'll go back and forth between you and Kev. So what is a strength of Skyler's that you guys feel like that might be our edge to potentially winning this game? Or at least a help?
Skyler's got a little more mobility than Tua. So he does have the capacity to make, like, most of his big plays this season have actually occurred off script. Okay. So behind our leaky offensive line, you need to be able to do that. So he can make some plays off script. And TD, I'm a big fan of TD, and I love that you guys actually collaborate because that's my favorite Dolphin contributor. He is a big Skyler Thompson fan, and he's been saying that Skyler's better than Tua since the preseason. And
really,
has he been vindicated? It's too soon to say. But one thing TD does say, and I agree with, is that so a lot of people think that Skyler's kind of indecisive because he drops back, he's looking, he won't throw. But unlike Tua, who is a pure one-read quarterback, Skyler's actually trying to read a defense post-snap. Tua doesn't do that. And so maybe now whether or not that translates into actual success on the field, we haven't really seen it yet. But that might be a skill that that Skyler has that Tua doesn't, and maybe that works to our benefit on Sunday. But other than that, it's not much. I mean, he's a 7th-round pick for a reason.
Jonah, you did a really good job of finding the positives because I need to know that. And I know he's a bigger body. He's 6'2". So, I mean, that makes a difference. I mean, he can see somewhat over the line more so than Tua. Whether that makes a difference or not, I'll let Kev let me know. But, Kev, you got to give me something different than what Jonah gave me. What do you got?
Oh, man, he's trash.
This guy.
Like, he's just so bad. Like, he's not reading the field. He's just reading nothing. Someone who makes a decision quickly can't be worse than someone who can't make a decision at all. So all this guy does is stand there like a deer in the headlights, slow motion run away, and then check down, right? I've seen him try and wobble a long ball. I've even heard, like, this TD Finns guy, he has an agenda against Tua, and I'm not a huge Tua guy, but, like, Tua's not crap. He's like your Kirk Cousins, right? That's I've called him Kirk Cousins for like a long time. He's the Samoan Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
but this guy, he doesn't like him, so he's trying to big up some trash 7th round rookie we've got. It's literally done nothing but had one like nice drive in the preseason. Go watch the Jets game. Oh my God.
I haven't watched it.
Look, the first, not the last one, the first one. Okay. So the first one, it looks like we get blown out 40-17. We actually have the ball in the 4th quarter going to take the lead. And Skyler's running around like an asshole and drops the ball like a loaf of bread and sets them up on the 10-yard line twice. My only positive with Skyler is he's expendable. So he can move. That's true. He is mobile. So run him. Quarterback runs, quarterback draws, do something. He's a decent runner. He ran well in college. He's a gamer, but he can't throw deep. Go watch the first Jets game. He tries to throw a couple of them to Tyreek Hill, and thankfully, handsy Sauce Gardner just comes up with 2 PI calls because the ball goes like 27 yards in the air. There's this guy, man. Anyways, if I'm going to try and be positive, that's what they have to do. I want to see design runs. I want to see him using his legs. I want to see, some read action or, and that sort of stuff with you.
Brandon Jones and sorry, I got to say, Postmaster comes in with a super chat. We appreciate that.
No, they're both out for the year.
Both out for the year. So that's out of the question. He says, I admit I stole this one. He said, Michael's going to have to play. At some point, he can't hide forever. We get it. So here, gentlemen, here's the thing, man. I guess I have to be the one that comes in and tries to find the light for you guys. Now, before I shed my light on how you guys can win this game, TD wanted to jump in and show some love. He says, yo, this guy knows nothing about Skyler. He will find out Sunday.
Zero touchdowns last week. 0 touchdowns. Not just 0 touchdowns. I think he had 0 passes that were in the air over 20 yards, with the exception of the one he tried to throw deep and it got deflected and luckily fell into Gesicki's hands.
Kevin, what TD is trying to say is you got to give more love to Skyler. You're not finding the optimism in this.
I get it. And I'm being very harsh on him because he is a 7th round rookie. Right. So we shouldn't expect anything from him. Brock Purdy's an aberration, so you shouldn't expect anything from him. So I'm just pissed off and bitter that this is, the last time we made the playoffs, we had to start Matt Moore because the starter got hurt too. It's the second playoff game in a row that we've had to start a backup quarterback from injuries.
You know what though? I would be pissed too if we were getting into the playoffs and we had our guy, and then all of a sudden we had to start another guy in Rob Johnson when we had Doug Flutie doing the damn thing. I get it. I totally get it. You want your starting guy to be in, and you got
played Doug Flutie got to start a playoff game though.
And then he
lost. Interception in the end zone. Who did he lose to? Oh, it was us. But Brock Marion picked him off.
I remember that game.
God, Brock Marion. That's a name I've heard in a long time.
Good.
Here's the deal.
That was the Eric Moulds game. 240 yards for Eric Moulds. I remember that Dolphins-Bills playoff game when that used to be like every 4 to 5 years, the Dolphins and the Bills would meet in the playoffs. It was like a routine thing. And then it's been 24 years since the last Bills-Dolphins playoff game.
You know what though? We feel your pain because Tyrod would have been the guy that to continue, and then we had Nate Peterman. That's my guy. But anyway, here's the deal.
I love Nate Peterman.
Listen, I'm a big fan of Nate Peterman. Everybody knows that. Everybody thinks I'm trolling.
Upside.
I really do. I really do like the guy. Mike Glennon. You guys brought in Mike Glennon, and I don't know what's going on with Teddy Bridgewater. Is his pinky not ready to go yet? Like, what's going on with that? I would prefer Teddy Bridgewater over Skyler. You would think. But like, what's going on with? Is he just done for the year? That's it. Teddy's not doing it, or what?
Last I heard, he can throw the ball about 20 yards right now. So he dislocated his. I heard it was broken, but now him dislocated his pinky finger on his throwing hand. He's having a hard time gripping the ball. So McDaniel doesn't want to run he wants to prepare one guy for the whole week, build a game plan around him, and have him go in. If you're going to pick a bum early and hope, build what you can. Whereas who knows what Teddy can or can't do come game time.
Tough. Mike McDaniel. He's your offensive young guru, if you will. young, sexy dude coming in, you know what I'm saying, and changing the game in Miami and the culture. I think he's a cornball, in my opinion. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I hear his like locker room pep talks and stuff. It makes me cringe. Game ball for everyone. Where's the guy? Where is he? John Ross or whatever. John Ross, like Stephen Ross. Where is he? Game ball. He's such a cornball, but that's his personality. He's quirky, if you will. Now, but on a serious note, a game plan. What kind of game plan? And I'm not based around Skyler, but what kind of game plan would you guys have to implement in order to at least keep this close and eventually try to turn it around so you guys actually win this? And this show is because you guys are the underdog. So I'm purposely, before I get in on you guys and really just stomp you guys out, I want to give you guys I need to find ways that they'll make this a game. So Kev, I'm going to start with you. Game plan McDaniel puts together to try to get this game to stay within reach and potentially shock the world.
You know, they gotta start off like they did against you guys last game. They got to go for 100 yards in the first half. They got to probably rush for 200 plus yards because we're not getting more than 150 in the air before garbage time, before you guys put in the backups. So I'd put Tyreek on punts. I'd put Waddle at kickoffs. I'd be running, you're going to see a bunch of hopefully you see some screens. Hopefully you see some like end arounds. Hopefully like nothing like too gimmicky, but like try and get the ball into those two guys' hands whenever possible on the passing game, and then try and run, right? We got Mostert's probably not, well, he's almost definitely not playing this game.
He's out. They ruled him out.
Yeah. And so you got Jeff Wilson and Ahmed, who's had a nice touchdown against you guys last game, but Wilson missed last game. He's pretty good. He's a different style of runner. He's not the breakaway threat that Mostert is, but you're gonna have to pound it. He's gonna have to run for at least 170 yards, I think, to win.
And here, you know what though? In all honesty, the Bills, and you've watched the Bills, and you know the Bills. Well, both you guys watch the Bills, and you know them very well. We have games where we allow 100 yards, 120 yards, 150 yards, 170 yards rushing. Like there was a stretch where we allowed over 150 yards 3 games straight this year. So it's not out of the realm that you guys find a way. And you have a head coach that pretty much was the run game coordinator in San Francisco. So he's gonna find ways to move things around and shift in, because you guys do a lot of motion with Tyreek around. So that could create a lot of gaps to open up. So to me, your angle, I'm surprised you guys didn't go right to the run game. Your angle is the run game. Take the pressure off of Skyler, which
it looked good last week. Jets have a good defense, and we ran. I mean, Jonah, you watched the game.
Good though, man.
It was you watched the game. I like the little that pivot reverse to Mostert. Yeah, Wilson. Yeah, those were nice. He's had some new wrinkles. But yeah, so things like that. It's just, do we have the alignment to execute it? Right? They're all crippled and hurt too.
Armstead playing?
He practiced today.
Yeah, he practiced today.
Okay, that's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
good sign.
Because if he doesn't go, oh my God, we ran out of tackles. I think Rob Hunt's going to have to move from guard to play right tackle.
I had a friend of mine hit me up today, and he says, "Oh, Rico, what's the deal? Should I take the Bills on the spread, the point spread of minus, what is it, 13? I think we're up. Is it 13? Should I take that and Josh Allen running for 45 yards or more?" I told him to smash that. Did I give him the right advice?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. This game can spiral out of control in the second half. Absolutely.
All right. So this one goes to my man Jonah. Jonah, apart from Josh Allen, apart from Stephon Diggs, the big dogs on the offensive side of the ball, where is it that you guys are like, that scares me? That scares me, and I don't feel good about that scheme or this player or this sequence. I don't feel good about him. So where is it that you feel like that gives me the most fear?
Dawson Knox is a complete X factor. He makes me extreme, because our linebackers, and I got to give another shout out to, try to do some research before I came on the show. And a shout out to another great Dolphins content creator. His name's Ryder McConville. I don't know if he sounds young, but he does a lot of film breakdown.
Ryder
and he's done some videos about how pathetic the Dolphin linebackers are in coverage, especially zone coverage. So we don't have the linebackers to cover Dawson Knox. We are thin in the secondary. I know Eric Rowe's kind of like our tight end stopper, but I look at Dawson Knox. That's a real matchup advantage against Rowe, and so he is a person that we don't have the personnel to stop him. Nor do I trust Boyer to kind of scheme for him. So I think Dawson Knox will likely have I'm predicting at least 80 yards and a touchdown. That is a kind of an unheralded player that we have no answer for, and he played well last game.
Good point. That's a great point. Even my man Ismail Manedo agrees. Says Dawson Knox should terrify them. So I appreciate you, Ish.
He averaged 26 yards a game this year. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, don't. If there was a point, Kev, you know this. There was a point where he was going through some issues. He lost his brother. So
yeah, last time we played him, Ismail, we didn't have Eric Rowe. You were going up against Clayton Fijetelum, who was our third string strong safety.
So you're saying that Dawson?
No, it's a good pick. I'm just grumpy. It's a good pick. I was trying to think because no one on your team really it's just Josh Allen. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I want you to take Josh Allen.
Diggs hasn't done any. Diggs hasn't topped 60 yards against us in 2 years. Okay, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
He's great. I'm not shitting on him. I'm just saying that we usually do well him, and then usually what happens is when someone really concentrates on Diggs, Allen, that's when what's his name? Davis will have one of his big games. It used to be Cole Beasley, right? Mm-hmm. It used to be Beasley always killed us. We get you in these third down and longs, and then Beasley would kill us. But at the end of the day, it's always we cannot stop Josh Allen from running whenever he wants. And that's what we get you in 3rd and 16. It's the point now where if it's less than 3rd and 25, I just assume he's going to run and get it. Yep. So, but like Davis doesn't do anything against us.
Okay.
None of your receivers really. Diggs doesn't do much against us. Knox had a big game last game, so that's a good pick. It's Allen. Allen always runs for like 80, 75 yards, and it's always killers. It's just like last game. You had him in 3rd and long, and then he runs and outruns a safety, for God's sake, and gets like 37 yards, and that was basically the game. That was it.
Demoralizing. It is demoralizing. I'm not gonna lie. Even myself as a fan, where I'm sitting here and I'm like, fuck, man, like, it's 3rd and 14. I know he's not taking the check down, so I know he's going for the sticks. It's either he's taking off, and then when he breaks the pocket, it's literally 50-50. There are quarterbacks where, like, he breaks the pocket, this ain't going nowhere. He's going to throw it out of bounds. There are literal guys that will throw it short of the sticks. You're like, what was the point of throwing it short of the sticks, right? Take what's there. I get it. Josh is not about to take what's there. I want the sticks, or it's a turnover. It could be. So, and then he takes off for 35, and you're like, whoo, that's why we got Josh Allen, right? So I get it. And it's got it. So if we're like on pins and needles, like, oh my goodness, it's 3rd and 14. And then you guys are like, holy crap. You guys are in the same position. And then he converts. It's got to hurt. And you guys right now, offensively, and then I'm trying to find the angles where you guys have success. I looked at you guys on 3rd downs. You guys are converting 36% of your 3rd downs. It's not going to be good enough in these games, right? Against a good defense. So I'm like, where is it that I find it? But for you say that it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. You think that's where you're more fearful? Our defense versus Skyler, is that where you're saying? More specifically, anybody to stand out or not really? That's where you care.
On your defense?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm thinking 2 picks, probably minimum here. He did well against the Jets because he was able, let me rephrase. He didn't turn the ball over against the Jets because it was a close game. He just did check downs. He played it very conservatively, which was fine because it was a very close game. And we went back and forth with a field goal battle, right? But once you guys put a couple touchdowns on the board and he's forced to make plays down the field, that's where I think we're going to start seeing the turnovers come. I like my wideouts against any corners in the league, to be honest, any matchup, but you have to be able to get them the ball, right? So
Listen, man, I'm with you. I feel for you. I know your frustrations, Kevin. You know what? I'm looking at this is two different pictures I'm looking at right now. I look at Jonah and I see happy to be here, folks. We made it into the playoffs. We backed in. I'm just excited we're here, right? Kevin,
listen to these shots. They backed in. You guys, when you backed in like a dump truck in your first after your 72-year playoff drought, when you beat a third string quarterback and needed to go down to the last drive of the game because it was against Miami with a left tackle that we picked up off the street, and you needed the last second in INT. And then you had to sit there and watch Tyler Boyd score to put you in the playoffs. Epic. I didn't hear any of you guys talking about getting backed in.
Whoa. We fully admit we're to the point where we gave money to the man that got us in. We were thankful. We were like, yes, we backed in. We don't shy away.
This is our third winning season in a row. We just got lucky. Unlucky that we didn't make it in. We got 10 wins a couple of years ago, still couldn't get in the playoffs.
I know. And I always hear from you because you're like, you're the most frustrated fan that I know, because I'm looking at and Jonah, and no disrespect to Jonah, Jonah's my guy, but he's like, we made it. So as long as you make it into the dance, anything is possible, and we all know that. But Kevin's been telling me this for so long. He's like, we're always good enough to get 7-8 wins
in the hunt.
We're not terrible enough to just suck. We're always in the middle, which gives us absolutely nothing. So I feel your pain. I've been hearing this for years. Anybody that ever talks to me, I'm like, I've been hearing that from Kevin for years now. And it's the same freaking thing. You're back into the playoffs, and you with what, 8 wins? I don't even know what you guys finished with. 8 wins,
9 and 8.
And so you're right in the middle when it comes to drafting. So it's like, all right, but at least you guys made the playoffs. That's what matters at the end of the day. But
Rico, can I ask something about Buffalo fans? Because what made Bills Mafia so charming and why I have nothing but love for Bills fans is because you guys sustained a historic period of ineptitude. 17 years without a playoff drought. We're literally the greatest moment of the franchise's for the franchise in a 17-year period was an Andy Dalton touchdown pass.
It was amazing.
And are you worried that maybe Bills Mafia, the fans, are getting a little spoiled? And that maybe they're getting a bit soft. Like, is Bills Mafia as crazy as they were during the drought? Because the drought is what created all the wildness in the parking lot. There was no success on the field, so they had to find success in the hammer lot. And are you worried that maybe Bills Mafia is getting a little weak? They're becoming like spoiled rich kids, and they're just kind of losing the charm they had when they were slumping for all those years?
Listen, that's a great question. And there are those there's a balance. There are realists. There are a lot of Kevins in Bills Mafia where we're steady. We're not too high. We're not too low. And then
really? You have to introduce me to those.
Yeah, seriously. Kevin doesn't believe. Kevin thinks we're the worst fan base in the league. He thinks we're the worst. We're the worst people.
That's not what I said.
We don't deserve the success we're having.
No, that's not what I said. What I said was, they act like the nouveau riche. You know what I mean? So what these guys are is they were 17 years and nothing, right? So they were looking around, they're getting beat up by the Patriots, and they grew up watching the Patriots fans, and they're the worst, right? Patriots fans in their heyday, they were the worst. Absolutely. But we couldn't say anything because they won 17 titles. You know what I mean? Like every year they're in the AFC Championship game. So we're like, oh, we hate Brady. We hate him.
Yep.
But we couldn't do anything, you know? But now these guys have won a couple of division titles. I mean, all respect to the 4th place AFC finishers last year in the, was it divisional round losers? But when coming into this year, we were expected, like, don't even show up. Like, the Bills are running the table. And I was like, oh my God. I had guys telling me Gabe Davis was better than Waddle. And I get it. Like, you deserve to be confident because I've gone on record many, many times saying the Bills are the most talented team in the NFL. They're my pick to win the championship. But holy geez, guys, just like wait till you win it before you start acting like Pats fans. That's all I'm saying.
You're right.
Carts before the wagon, so to speak, or wagons before the horse, so to speak, right now.
The nouveau riche that you're referring to are the ones that have not endured that didn't know the 90s success. Right. So those that were around for the 90s,
remember,
you know what I'm saying? We are like, okay, we get it. Like, we've been here before. We've had success, and we also know what it feels like, and we also know what it feels like to be terrible. And then the nouveau riche, where we've been terrible for so long. All I know is this team being bad, and we're finally good. And here's my stage. I'm taking full advantage of it because I love it. And a lot of these Bills fans don't know how to act. They say a lot of ridiculous things, and you're like, you're embarrassing us. Stop it. Just stop.
Well, Pierre is the worst. Remember, I called him and Aaron Quinn out, remember? Because they had that smug exchange. You should have seen this, Jonah. I will send it to you. This smug exchange before the week 3 game about Dolphins fans think they have a chance of winning. Is this how we felt all those years when we played the Patriots? And a Dolphin fan was like, wow, the complete lack of self-awareness to compare your success to the Patriots dynasty is overwhelming. So I tell you, when we won that game, Pierre got that wallpaper of that quote. I kept it. Now, granted, when we lost the last game, Rico was kind enough to call me at 1:30 in the morning on air because he still had his show going, wake me up just so him and Rev can laugh at me.
It was a wellness check. We wanted to make sure you guys were good, because a lot of times, and we talked about this before, where they give you just enough hope to crush you, to keep you on the edge of your seat, and then you're like, oh. But you guys kept that game very close. Listen, we're sitting here.
You mean the second one, the one we were winning going into the fourth?
And then Josh was activated, and that's the difference between
that's always it.
Franchise quarterback and just a good quarterback.
I tell you, that wasn't that late hit call was bullshit.
Oh,
I'm still saying that.
And the pass interference was a little questionable.
Which one?
On that final drive. So it was ticky-tacky in that situation.
Nah, I'll give them that one. They had to call that one. But the problem is that, like, the best is I see some of these Bill content creators talking about how great Elam was. Elam's tackling dudes before the ball's five feet from them. The Cater Kohu pass interference was a penalty. I'll give him that. But I'm telling you right now, that hit that with Josh Allen flop to the ground, the man can't get tackled. Like 280-pound DTs bounce off of him. Some guy literally just grazed him with his hand and then tried to keep him up. Hey. And Allen just flops to the ground. Kudos to him. Smart
Kevin,
play.
You're a
but
joke.
Oh my God. Because he was a running on that play. So he's not a quarterback. He doesn't get the same rules as a quarterback when he runs. If that was Singletary that got nudged like that, no chance you see a flag. That's why it pissed me off. It was only because it was Allen. If that was Singletary or Cook, no chance that's a flag. But it was Allen flopping to the ground.
Listen, you guys watch basketball. I mean, you were just playing basketball just the other day. And, you know, when we play basketball, we pretend who we are, right? So, like, hey, you be my...
I don't blame Allen. It was a smart play for Allen, and it worked out really well for him.
But hear me out.
Like, he's fantastic. He's so good.
But hear me out.
I'm not shitting on him. I'm just shitting on that was a bad call. That's the right move to make.
Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Allen Iverson. You catch where you see where I'm going with this? Superstars calls. It's just what it is, right? So when you have the phenom in Josh Allen, you're gonna get some calls. Now there's some, and Josh Allen sometimes he's in the LeBron James category too, because he's so big. There's a lot of things that don't get called, like Chris Jones whipping his leg out the way and blatantly tripping Josh Allen. No call. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a superstar call.
You take some and you lose some. That's just what it is. Gentlemen, let me because I'm not trying to stay too long tonight. Because I know I want to let you guys have your evening. So going into this game, the way I look at it is this: it's if we score, and I said this earlier, if we score two scores early, to me, I think the game is pretty much done, because now you're putting the onus and you're putting the I guess all the weight on McDaniel and your quarterback Skyler Thompson. You just can't let us get up 2 scores, because you get up 2 scores, it becomes one-dimensional somewhat. McDaniel is creative enough to kind of he doesn't abandon the run. That's what I love about your coach. He does not abandon the run. So we may have to go up 3 scores, but at that point, we all know that's a skunk. It's a wrap. We just got to get up on you guys early, and then it's a long game. You guys have to keep it close, and the way to keep it close is Phillips, Ingram, your defensive guys have to show up. If you slow Allen down in any way and keep it close like you did with the Jets, and that's the way you got to be in there. And it's not about keeping Josh on the sideline. It's about just finding a way to just that rollout that Josh likes to do, take it away. But it's so easily said and hard to do. And to me, if we get up on you guys early, it's going to be a long day for you guys. And then maybe we'll see Mike Glennon. Who knows? Who knows? But let me bring on, before we get out of here, let me bring on my man, Evan. Evan, you ready to come on here? Because Evan he's been patiently sitting in the back there. And Evan, good morning, Evan. How are you today, sir? Good evening.
He got his hair cut since the last time I saw
How you
him.
see
No,
it?
well, yeah, okay. The hair has been cut a little bit, but it's just kind of slicked back a little bit to let the curls flow.
He's trying to do the Rick Ramon.
Yeah,
I like
right.
it.
You can't really see the flow in the back though.
Rico, I know you're a big Seinfeld fan. Evan reminds me so much of Darren. Remember Kramer's intern at Kramerica Industries? We have Darren.
I like it.
I've watched a little Seinfeld. Rico, send me like a clip of that guy afterwards.
But it's before your time, right? Yeah, way before your time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Seinfeld is a
Darren was a great intern at Kramerica Industries, so you remind me a lot of Darren.
That was great.
Take good notes. Minutes of the meeting. We need that around here.
I like it, man. So, Ev, you've been listening. You've been seeing all this stuff. Where's the angle for the Bills, and where is the? I mean, we know what the angles are for the Bills. I mean, there's a few angles we can take, but more specifically, where are the angles for the Miami Dolphins? Where can they? You know our team. You know our weaknesses. Where can they take advantage of us?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with a lot of what Kevin said. If the Dolphins are going to want to take advantage of the Buffalo Bills, it's going to have to be in the trenches. And the Dolphins, defensive line and front sevens are going to really have to come to play this Sunday and, get some pressure on Josh Allen and make him turn over the football, whether that's in our own territory or in the Dolphins' territory. And we've seen that a few times this season. Josh in the red zone or just Josh in midfield is, had some turnovers, whether that's just with some pressure, just an incompetent throw. The Dolphins are going to have to take advantage of that in the front seven for the Dolphins, whether that's, Phillips, Ingram, Bradley Chubb, Wilkins. They're going to have to really step up to the plate and get to Josh Allen and pressure him. And it's not going to have to be, with sending 6, sending 7. They're going to have to do it, with sending 4, because Josh Allen against pressure against the blitz is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And I know in week 3, you guys got a big fumble by sending the blitz against Josh Allen, but consistently it's hard to do that. But sending 4, and obviously you're gonna have to cover good in the back end, but sending 4 and getting to Josh is gonna have to be the way the Dolphins do that. And if they do get a turnover or 2 against this Bills offense, you have to take advantage of that. You can't score 3, you're gonna have to score 7. If Josh turnovers the football in our own territory, the Dolphins are gonna have to take advantage of that. The Dolphins are have to be very opportunistic and take advantage of every single little piece we give them, if that's per se. Just because I don't see Skyler Thompson winning this game by himself, but I can see Skyler Thompson making good moments out of certain things the Bills give him if they do that this Sunday.
It's funny. I was listening to Dan Patrick, and they're running through rookies that have made it to the playoffs. They happen to be a rookie that's starting in the playoffs, and they went decade by decade to see how many rookies have started. 80s, there was one. Dan Marino was the one that was in the playoffs, I believe. It was Dan Marino and somebody else. In the 90s, there was like a handful, maybe like 2 or 3. In the 2000s, we started to see more. In the 2010s and on, that's when you started seeing a whole bunch of them. Anyways, it was a name that, let's see if you guys know your stuff. In the 2000s, the Buccaneers trotted out a rookie quarterback that did
Sean King.
Well. Hey,
wow.
You got that. Well done.
Tulane product Sean King. Yeah, with the Dungy Bucks. They almost beat the Rams that year. It was 99.
Absolutely. See,
not to be too pedantic. It was 1999.
It was so funny. So like it was nostalgic because they were bringing all these names back. I was like, holy jumpins. But anyway, so Skyler's got an opportunity here. So and it's gonna be fun to see. Ev, what were you gonna say? You're about to jump in there.
No, I was just reading a comment. Someone said a comment about me, so it's pretty funny.
There you go. Now I'm gonna flip the script a little.
Turn those comments off, man.
I'm gonna flip the script a little bit, and I'm gonna go to each one of you guys. I'm gonna give you a different topic to hit on. So first things first, Kevin, you weren't here, so I'm gonna give you this one here. Tom Brady linked to the Miami Dolphins next year. Your thoughts on that? Is this bogus? Are you even interested in seeing something like that? Tom Brady, a guy that you've rooted against for so freaking long, now potentially linked to your team. Do you like it? Are you just like, I'm not even discussing that? It's not going to happen. How do you feel about that?
Well, I know why the story's out. It's because we got, dinged for tampering with them already. So clearly the owner is very interested. And the one of the other members of ownership, he's really good friends with them. And so could I see the Dolphins doing that? Yes. Do I think it's stupid? Yes. He didn't play that great this year. You're finally starting to see the age catch up to him. And I mean, you still have Evans and Godwin, who are like a top 5 receiving tandem in the NFL. So it's not like he's without any sort of weapons here. I know his offensive line was a little banged up, but it's not going to get any better in Miami. Listen, if you wanted to move on from Tua, if the organization decides we're going to move on from Tua, we're going to say something like shut him down for a year because of the concussions, we're going to bring Brady in and then see where we stand in 2 years, I can see it happen. I don't think it's a great move. But I would say it wouldn't, I don't have much confidence, but if he happened to come in and we happened to beat you guys, it would be your worst nightmare.
Kevin,
and it would be the sweetest feeling. I think my nipples are getting hard right now. It would be good. But I mean,
could you root for Tom Brady? It's like, but you're rooting for LeBron. So,
I am not. See, I'm a Lakers fan, and my most hated player of all time is LeBron James.
And you have
LeBron James who signed with the Lakers. Every one of my friends were like texting me, laughing. They couldn't believe it. Anyway, so that's why he's bringing that up.
It was bittersweet for Kevin. Kevin, we win the championship, and Kevin's like, because of LeBron. That's craziness. Next topic. I'm gonna give this one to Jonah here. This one's for you, buddy. Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore freaking Ravens hasn't played in weeks. The injury was an MCL sprain, from what I understand, and that was supposed to be 1 to 3 weeks. He hasn't returned since. We're now into the playoffs. He puts out a statement saying, guys, just let you know, here's my injury. My knee is not 100%. I really want to be out there with my guys, but I'm not going to be able to. So they're going to trot out Tyler Huntley. Is this a back shot at Ravens to say a shot at Ravens to say, listen, man, I asked y'all for a contract. Y'all didn't want to give me my contract, and you guys want me to go out there and risk my knee even more? Bump that. This is a business decision. And if my knee's not 100%, I'm not going out there for y'all, especially what happened to Kyler. And good thing Kyler got paid, because if Kyler didn't get paid and he did that, they would have sliced that and said, no, we're done. Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Do you see Lamar coming back to the Ravens, or is he going to maybe Miami? Talk to me about Lamar and potentially if he goes back to the Ravens.
I do agree with you. He's taking a page out of Byron Jones's playbook, and he is making a business decision, right? So he came out and he said, there's inflammation. Maybe that's the case, but I think if he had been locked up to a long-term deal, he would be playing this Sunday. And he figures the Bengals are much better than us anyways. I'm on the cusp of free agency.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to risk it for a team that's probably not going to get beyond the wild card round. So would I take Lamar Jackson? 100% I would take him, because it's a knee injury. He's a little injury prone, but we're not dealing with concussions, right? Where one concussion and your career can be over, or at least they shut you down for the season. And he's just so much better than Tua. Like this is a former NFL MVP. I think his passing's improved. If anyone's going to save this franchise, it's going to be a hometown boy like Lamar Jackson. So please, make whatever it takes. Try, like if you need to tamper, just tamper better. Okay, like I have no problem with tampering, but just don't get caught.
Yeah, you got to
don't get caught doing it. Like that's what's so offensive, is that the league's been tampering for 30 years, yet our idiot owner can't do what everyone's been doing. We lose a first-round draft pick over that and a third.
That hurts.
So if you got to tamper, I'm all for it, but just be a little more discreet about it.
I got my man Scott Blakely from the Shy. What up, Scott? Scott comes in and says, hey, do you think Lamar is worthy, though? Just saying, his style of play is so injury-prone, and his body is not a winter soldier like our guy. Here's my take on Lamar. I think Lamar actually got hurt in the pocket as opposed to him taking off and scrambling. And this is the thing that kills me. I did a video 3 years ago, and I put all the mobile quarterbacks in in a freaking list, and I went through every one of their injuries and where they got injured, and every and all the quarterbacks. Excuse me, I did all the quarterbacks and who got injured. It was Carlson Palmer, pocket. All the injuries were coming from the pocket to these immobile guys, and the guys that were mobile were getting hurt in the pocket. So them saying, "Oh, he's injury prone," is because he takes off. He didn't get hurt taking off. He got hurt in the pocket because his line wasn't sustained enough. And I guess maybe you could say that he wasn't making his read quick enough and held the ball too long. Who knows? But he's a former MVP. So don't give me that he can't do this, he can't do that. Put enough talent around him, and the Ravens have failed to do that, and you will have some. Don't give me Hollywood Brown was fuck off with the Hollywood Brown talk. Hollywood Brown didn't do shit in Arizona. So I don't want to hear anything about that. So for me, Lamar, I'd welcome Lamar to the Dolphins. I'd hate it because and it feels like as a Bills fan, I don't know about you Bills fans, but every year they always need to pump the AFC East full of, leave us alone. Let us be the Tom Brady of the AFC East and let us reign for a long time. But you guys keep bringing in talent. I could totally see Aaron Rodgers in the AFC East. Maybe Derek Carr comes through, and then maybe Lamar comes through. Now those three guys in the AFC East, I could totally see it. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Wow.
But it's possible. I'm just saying. I'm going to put it out there. But thank you for that with the Lamar chat. And business decision, indeed, he did. Could we see him in the Dolphins uniform? Who knows? But I think I'm with him. I ain't playing. I'm going to take care of my knee. And then when I'm ready to get my contract, whether it be a guaranteed contract, like everybody's looking at the Browns like, go fuck yourselves. Why would you give this a fully guaranteed contract? And now you're going to expect us to do that? Give me a break. Evan, this one's for you, big guy. Roquan Smith traded to the freaking Ravens and has improved that defense vastly. Gets a $100 million contract, 60 guaranteed. Guess who's coming up for contract talk on our team? Tremaine Edmonds. What are you doing with Tremaine Edmonds? And you guys can chime in if you guys so please. But you've got Jordan Poyer, that this freaking guy right here,
future Miami Dolphin.
He has a way of getting in the ear of Jordan Poyer and just trying to throw some things in there to try to get into Miami. And it freaking could work. And it's going to be because of this idiot right here. Anyway, I digress. So Jordan Poyer, Ed Oliver is going to need to get paid as well. And then now you have Tremaine Edmonds. Roquan Smith just got himself a $100 million deal. What do you do with Tremaine Edmonds? You let him walk or do you sign him and risk losing Ed Oliver or Jordan Poyer?
Yeah, so flat out, Roquan Smith obviously deserved that contract. He's been one of the best linebackers in the league for, the past 4 to 5 seasons, and he's the highest paid off-ball linebacker in NFL history. So that is going to skyrocket the linebacker market for when some of these top linebackers have to get paid, aka example, Tremaine Edmonds coming up this offseason. Tremaine is set for a payday. He's going into year 6 after this. He's in his 5th-year option right now currently. And Tremaine has been a mainstay and a main part of this defense ever since he got here, drafted in 2018. And the big reason why you have to re-sign Tremaine Edmonds is not only because he's been an impactful player on this defense for 5 years and he's only 24 years old and he's only going to continue to get better, and you're going to have a young player in this defense for the next set of years. But having a guy like Tremaine Edmonds in the middle of the field allows you to run the 2 linebacker defense that you like to run, having a nickel corner in Taron Johnson out there, just because Tremaine Edmonds is 6'5" with that length and reach that he has. That's kind of like he's playing a position and a half, and that kind of allows you to play that with Taron Johnson at the nickel corner position. And if you take Tremaine Edmonds out of there and, put in a guy maybe like Terrell Dotson or Terrell Bernard or AJ Klein, etc., you're kind of losing that hybrid defense you can run with Edmonds as your Sam linebacker. So again, you got to re-sign Tremaine Edmonds. He's been a pivotal part of this defense and a reason why it's been top 5 for many seasons. I mean, again, you're gonna have to pay a guy like Jordan Poyer. You're gonna have to pay a guy like Ed Oliver, and I know Brandon Beane is gonna find a way to pay all these guys in some sort of way. I don't feel like we're gonna let any of these guys out the door realistically, but Tremaine Edmonds, in my opinion, is a key player you got to resign here.
You got to resign him.
How old is Poyer? Is he pushing 30 now?
No, he's over 30. He is 32.
31. He just turned 32, didn't he?
Yeah,
You just have
let me
his
double
birthday?
check.
Yeah, double check that. I think he's 31, just turned 32, or I think he's 22 soon. But anyway,
31, April 25th, 1991. So he'll be 32 in this offseason.
Yeah, he's coming.
I
up.
know all my friends' ages.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you.
He's secretly Jordan Poyer's next agent. He just knows everything about him, trying to recruit him over to Miami.
You should get a cut out of that damn check that he gets from Miami if you go.
Kevin's tampering with Jordan Poyer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Kevin, you're going to be the reason the Dolphins losing another first-round pick.
I know, right? So my man Ish says Lamar is a bum. I totally disagree. 3,000-yard season, nothing after the MVP. Bum for real. I hope Miami gets. I hope Miami gets them and set them back. Here's the deal: when I hear that Lamar Jackson is a bum, right? Lamar Jackson, his MVP season was throwing to, and not a slat at all, but he was throwing to Andrews, Willie Snead, Brown, and there's one more receiver there that he was throwing to Sammy Watkins. I think it was Sammy Watkins at the time, but anyway, no stars, right? 36 touchdown passes. MVP season.
Seth Roberts, I think that's who it was. Seth Roberts.
Probably Seth Roberts, right? Go to the Bengals. The Bengals are throwing to T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. He's got 35 touchdowns right now. And talking about a bum. He's throwing to those three guys. So you give Lamar Jackson those three guys on a Bengals offense, you don't think that he'd do damage? Y'all need to cut it out and give some respect on Lamar Jackson. I can't stand that slander. He's a bum. Boy, every time we play Lamar Jackson, we're like, we hold our breath because he's scary like that. And Josh Allen's the same. Scary. You know what I'm saying? You put weapons around him. Like, who the fuck was he throwing to this year? Andrews?
Prochet.
Duvernay. Unhealthy.
Duvernay.
Oh, what's his name? The one I like from Minnesota.
Isaiah
Rashad Bateman. That was a big injury.
Rashad Bateman.
He had chemistry.
He started
for Baltimore.
I like Rashad Bateman. He's a good player.
Yeah, so do I.
They bring in Deshaun Jackson to you guys really want success.
I think they released him. They released him too.
Whichever. The point is, put some weapons around. Look what we did for Josh Allen. We gave Josh Allen Diggs. We put Dawson around him. We put Cole Beasley, John Brown. Look what Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Gesicki. You guys don't even use Gesicki. I don't know what's going on with that. Wilson. They put weapons around their guy, and then you want Lamar Jackson to cook something with chicken shit. Cut it out. I ain't having that. Scott Blakely comes in with a super chat here, and he comes in and says, "We're re-signing Edmonds and picking up the safety brother from Pittsburgh." Oh, what's his name?
Terrell
Edmonds.
I got a question for you and Evan. It's about why did the Bills fans always talk about should we re-sign Tremaine Edmonds when, in my opinion, if there's going to be an odd man out, it's Ed Oliver. Why do you need to re-sign Ed Oliver to a huge deal? 20 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I don't understand why Edmonds takes all this heat, right? Like I see, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not as much this year, but last couple of years, I've seen a lot of people
agreed
dogging on Edmonds, right? And if I had to pick, if you said, "Hey, Miami, you can take one of these guys," I'm taking Tremaine Edmonds every day over Ed Oliver. He's a decent player, but what is he, the 4th best defensive tackle in the division? Edmonds is they don't make guys like that. I know he makes a couple of bonehead plays, but the length, like you were talking about, the ability to disrupt passing lanes, the sheer size, he's a freak. It's almost like because of his athletic profile, fans expected him to be kind of like Micah Parsons, and because it's turned out a little bit different and not everything he does is quantifiable, that they turn on him. Am I wrong? But to me, I'd keep Edmonds over Ed Oliver. There's
no question. That's go ahead, Evan.
Yeah. So, and a point about Tremaine Edmonds, like you mentioned, just that sheer athletic profile that he has, his physical size. I'm not saying not trying to dog on quarterbacks like Tua, but like Tua and Kyler and Russell Wilson, some of these smaller quarterbacks that when you have a bigger defensive lineman in their face and they try to throw maybe over at Tremaine Edmonds, that just makes it that much harder because these smaller quarterbacks in those pockets are trying to throw over a guy like Tremaine Edmonds, and he just simply can't just because of how big he is, and he's just going to drop that passing lane even more.
Listen, Tremaine Edmonds, that's it. That's where you go, and then Ed Oliver is the third option, if anything.
Or maybe he's not that good, and you let him go somewhere else that has no state tax.
Yeah, potentially.
And maybe Miami.
Miami.
That'd be cool. I'd be okay with that. Jonah, would you take Tremaine Edmonds? We'd have to sit.
I would. I mean,
Roberts, but Jesus Christ,
he's an upgrade over whoever Baker, Riley, Landon Roberts, absolutely. And plus, you have to. Buffalo's kind of making.
Yeah.
Our best linebacker is Andrew Van Ginkel, but the Bills. I mean, you have to think back to what is Sean McDermott's DNA, right? Going back to Carolina, that defense was built around elite linebacker play with Kuechly and Thomas Davis and Shaq Thompson. So that it's the same defense, and Buffalo cannot run their defense without athletic 3-down linebackers. Milano and Edmonds, they're the new Kuechly, Thomas Davis.
And we don't even run 3 linebackers. We're on a nickel defense, and like Edmonds' size and build kind of allows them to run that nickel defense.
100%.
Yeah.
With having a guy like in there, like in Taron Johnson. So that just makes it that much harder for a team like the Miami Dolphins or Patriots or any team really playing the Bills to try to attack them in certain ways. Well, it's because like, okay, you want to try to run the football on us. Yeah, you might, have a run here and there, but we have a big 6'5" linebacker and a really tough nickel corner in there that can, defend the run and also defend the pass. So it's like kind of pick your poison how you attack the defense with Edmonds.
Although that's what we did last game. We if you look, all the runs that we were doing in the first was attacking Taron Johnson. McDaniel found a way to isolate him in the run game. But anyways, that's an upside.
That's an upside. So and I'm glad that we brought that up because now the last segment of the show is obviously it's wildcard weekend. We need to do some pick'ems. My man Mike Hartle is in the building right now, and we're ready to do some pick'ems and see how we fare. First of all, I didn't get a chance to ask my man Jonah, how was your stay in Buffalo when you went to go watch that the game?
Honestly, it was magical. Like it was everything I expected. Being inside, I still call it Rich Stadium, but being inside Rich Stadium when the snow is coming down, because it wasn't that cold. It wasn't that windy. So it just felt like you were in a snow globe. It was like such a, I don't want to be like over the top, but just being in that stadium, seeing those two teams compete. It's a Saturday night. Christmas is in the air. People are singing Let It Snow in the crowd. It's like I actually get goosebumps thinking about being in that stadium at that moment. And everyone is extremely friendly and welcoming. Like it was, even though we lost, it was a very special evening just being, and I don't know what it was like on TV, but like it was everything I hoped it would be.
That's cool, man. I've not been to a winter game in Buffalo. Kevin was like, "You try to go to this game or what?" I was like, "Yo, I can't go to this game, man." But one of these days, we're gonna make it out there. Hopefully, they freaking make a Miami and Bills early in September because we haven't had that in so long. So hopefully, we can try to round up the crew and get down.
We don't want to play in Miami in September. We don't want to get OSHA involved or whatever. So I don't know how that petition is going.
We ain't tripping on that. So here's the deal.
You guys are complaining about the roof of the stadium. That was a brand new excuse. We lost because of the architecture of the Dolphin Stadium. I will admit that's a real advantage.
And you know what is funny? So like obviously if the Bills and Chiefs play each other in the AFC Championship, I already heard some like Bills and Chiefs fans both complaining about the Atlanta Falcons Stadium and how bad it is for the lighting. They're like, this is terrible. How you can out of an AFC Championship here when the lighting doesn't even fully fix the field. I'm just like, here we go.
It's like cut it out.
Lighting.
Yeah. I've never been to that stadium, but I saw the video of that Atlanta Stadium when they came out. Holy cow, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is nice.
Oh my gosh. I think who would talk about that? Oh, it's too far from Buffalo. Get out of here with that nonsense, man. My sister actually hits me. She's like, she's been now paying ever since the DeMar Hamlin situation. She's been paying attention to the Bills. And she's like, I love this team. Girl, I've been a Bills fan since you've been born. And you act like I love this team now. Stop your nonsense. But anyway, she goes, how much would it be to go to the Atlanta game? I was like, well, if the Chiefs and the Bills face off, that's where the game would be. And she's like, so like, do you think I'd be able to go? I was like, if you can get tickets, number one, and number two, they're going to be pricey as heck. She's like, I don't know, like $100? Girl, sit down. Go sit down. You're not getting $100 tickets to go to AFC Championship game in Atlanta with his Chiefs Bills. You need to stop that. But anyway.
I'll be there.
You'll be there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. Go ahead, Evan. What other tickets? Do you know? Because you're not, you know what the tickets are. What are the ticket prices are?
We haven't seen anything yet. For like playoffs?
Yeah.
Like right now, currently, for this game, it's about like 120, 130.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
Convert that to Canadian. That's like what, 200, 220 bucks, Kev? Give or take?
No, it'd be less than that. It'd be like 190, 180.
Give or take?
Not double. We're
Dude, when I was ready to go to that Pittsburgh game,
yeah.
their prices were $400, man. Are you kidding me?
I paid I want to say 250 when I went to see the Green Bay game.
250?
Yeah, it was 250 to go see the Green. When I saw, I went to that one. That was the one I saw. I saw the
Kevin,
Green
we
Bay.
forgot to link up, man. I completely forgot you were in Green Bay.
Fuck, I just most of the time I hung out. I went and saw Joe Marino and Kyle Krabs and those guys.
Yeah, that's
and those
right.
lads. Yeah.
Want to see the celebrities out there.
Locked in Dolphins. Guys, this is a lot of disrespect for Skyler Thompson. Looking at AFC Championship game ticket prices when you haven't even conquered Skyler Thompson. Come on, someone. I think you guys are looking ahead. Maybe we're gonna catch you.
Those are the shirts we need to make if we beat Skyler Thompson. Conquered Skyler Thompson.
Yeah. Thompson, that's what I say. David Cooley says 275 for Pittsburgh game, and convert that to Canadian funds. That's like what, 340-ish, give or take. So, yeah, it's pricey for us Canadians, man. We got to find our way there, and then you're paying for the tickets. It's a grip for us to go to Buffalo. So here's the deal, folks. We're gonna pick some games, and I need your help with this, guys. So here's the deal. See, I'm gonna give this one to Evan. Evan, Seahawks 49ers. Do we see an upset in the making? Is Brock Purdy's like does the light is now officially off Brock Purdy? It's over. We saw the run. It's a wrap. Seahawks and Geno Smith come into town and handle the 49ers. Do we see that happening?
Well, if you were telling me if this was a matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and between the Philadelphia Eagles, and this could have been the end of the run for Brock Purdy, I'd probably agree with you. But this is a Brock Purdy-led 49ers team going up against Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. And now if this was the first half of the season, Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith, sure, maybe we can have a conversation about them winning this football game. But with the way the Seahawks have been playing in the second half, and the way Geno Smith has been playing in the second half, he's had a couple nice games here and there, but he hasn't been playing consistently great football. And when you're going up against a 49ers team with Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, and just the talented front seven they have, and then on offense, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, Kittle, they just got too many players to really just attack you with. I don't see the Seahawks coming out of this game with a win, and Brock Purdy isn't going to have to do that much to win this game. Brock Purdy can go out there and throw 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and still win this game by 10 points, in my opinion. The 49ers are going to win this one pretty easily, in my opinion. Wow. I'm going to say they're going to win this game 33-19.
Oh, damn. You give me a score prediction and everything. I just wanted to win.
Yeah.
Win or lose. Yeah. All right, Evan. Listen, and in these games, guys, there's at least one upset special that you guys got to pick. So Kevin, I'm gonna give you this one. Chargers, Jaguars.
Are we doing point spread or just who's gonna win?
Just win. Who's gonna win? And right now for this Chargers Jaguars game, freaking Staley plays Mike Williams the last game of the season and fractures a freaking bone in his back or some stupid, and he's out for 3 weeks. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Stephen A. and sometimes Stephen A. goes out off some outlandish shit, but he said this guy needs to be fired. If they lose this game against the Jaguars, he needs to be fired. Not just because he lost the game to the Jaguars, but decision making. And this last one of playing one of your star receivers to only have him hurt when it meant nothing, like, cut it out. Anyway, I digress. The matchup predictor tells me that Jacksonville has a 60 to 38% chance of winning over the freaking Chargers. That's craziness. So, Kevin, who do you like in this game? Is this an upset special for you, or is this a regular? I'm going to take this Chargers over the Jaguars, or Jacksonville over.
Who's favored right now? So who's the upset?
Jacksonville's favored.
They are.
No, hold on. Sorry, Chargers are favored. The spread is 1.5 for the Chargers. Okay,
so if we have to take an upset, that's my. I think that'd be the upset. That's your best bet at an upset. It's close to me. They both have really good young quarterbacks. They both have like kind of a smaller, explosive running backs with good speed and good receiving ability. I want to lean towards the Chargers just because I hate them, but and I never get what I want in the playoffs. But fuck. Yeah, I think the Chargers win.
Take the Chargers?
No, I think the Chargers win.
Oh, you took the Chargers. This guy, you were gonna.
I know I flip flopped. I like
typical Dolphins, flipping, flopping all over the place. Okay, I get it. I get it. Flipper. I'm gonna call you.
If we'll go through the games, I think you lads have to agree, but I think that's will probably end up being your best if you have to pick an upset, quote upset. I think picking the Jags is probably the closest bet, but it's up to you guys.
So you're going Chargers over Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I'm writing this down. So then, if people want to use these bets and go ahead and do their thing, they're gonna have us to thank, and then we get 10% of their winnings. So you better make the right bet. So Chargers over the freaking Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Jacksonville takes this one, actually. I think Jacksonville is the upset special for me on this one. But anyway, I'll let Kevin take that one. All right. You know what? Next up, I'm gonna go to my man Jonah. Jonah. Giants Vikings. Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. These guys faced off each other not too long ago, and it was a barn burner right to the freaking end on a 60-yard field goal by the Vikes. Does Brian Dable come in?
What time's the game?
That game is at 5:30.
So it's not 1 o'clock. Kirk Cousins. Oof.
It's 4 o'clock. Kirk Cousins, which is right between prime time and daytime. Who do we get? Right, it could go either way based on the time of the game.
So I'll give you the score. The predictor. The predictor is right now they got the Minnesota Vikings at 58.7% chance of winning this game. Vegas has this as the Vikings -3, money line -160, over under 48. What do you guys like, Evan? This is for you.
I think this is
Jonah.
Yeah, this is the toughest. I think this is the toughest matchup of the weekend to predict. Actually, I'm gonna go Giants. I think the Vikings finally get exposed on Sunday. I'm a believer in Dable. I think he's gotten as much as you possibly can out of Daniel Jones. They're slim at receiver, but they're starting to. They're getting better, right? Isn't Isaiah Hodgins out there making plays for the Giants?
Plays for these guys, man. And it's sad. It's bittersweet because I wanted Isaiah Hodgins to get more playing time, but it just wasn't going to work out for him on the Bills. And the fact that he went to the Giants with Dable and he's familiar with that offense, go at it, man. And he's doing it. And he's doing it very well. So Giants over the Vikings. I like it. I like that pick.
Isaiah Hodgins. It's the weekend of Isaiah Hodgins. He makes a play.
I like it.
And they win.
Three touchdowns for Hodgins. Here we go. 3 touchdowns for Hodgins. That's a bold prediction for the
That is a bold prediction. Kevin, I'm gonna go to you with this one. Ravens Bengals. 9-15 game. This is a divisional game, third game. They just played each other, so it's fresh on everybody's mind. Could we see a huge upset here with Tyler Huntley coming in and just taking down the Bengals? Now the Bengals, the series I think is split 1-1. 0-2. No, they're 0-2. Excuse me, 1-1. So this is the third matchup, the trilogy. Mm-hmm. Can the Ravens pull the upset off?
No.
Not happening.
Taking the Bengals. The Bengals are playing really well right now. They're kind of hot. The Ravens are like, there's no Lamar. It's a backup quarterback. Although J.K. Dobbins is playing really, really well.
Gus Edwards coming back too.
Yeah, Miami U. But nah. They just don't. I don't think they can keep up. I don't think they can score enough points with Hundley.
Got it. Listen, last. I got 2 more games left for this one. The whole panel can do this one. Cowboys Buccaneers. Now this game is an interesting one. This is going to be the Monday nighter. We've got right now the Cowboys are predicted to win this one. The matchup predictor says it's 65% chance for them winning this game. However, Vegas actually has the Dallas Cowboys at -2.5. -2.5. The money line is 140, and it's a 45.5 over under. Who do you guys like? If the three of you guys can make a pick on this one, do we like the Bucs? Does Tom Brady show up in vintage Tom Brady?
Yeah. I'll start this one. Yeah, I'll start this one off here. I think the Bucs are going to win this matchup versus the Dallas Cowboys. You got Dak Prescott, who's leading the league in interception. He's going to be playing a Tampa Bay defense that has 8 takeaways in their last 4 games. So once again, Tom Brady entering the playoffs. I don't like to say this, and I'm sure you guys as Dolphins fans don't like to admit this either. He's the greatest playoff performer in NFL history, and he's going to continue to do that at least for one game against the Dallas Cowboys. And after the Cowboys lose to the Bucs, everyone can make that meme and still ask the Cowboys if you all are still them boys. I don't think they are going to be after this game versus the Bucs, but I got the Bucs winning here.
All right, Bucs. My girl Ebony, she comes in and says, unfortunately, Buccaneers, man. Mike Hartle says, yo, Cowboys, Bucs.
Cowboys are a better team.
Yep.
Cowboys are way better at running the ball. Cowboys have just as much talent on offense. Both teams have struggling quarterbacks. Cowboys, I think, have just probably as many, if not more, like a better pass rush. And I'm going to pick the Bucs because until Tom Brady is dead, I will not pick against Tom Brady. Like you will have to he's going to have to be dead for a whole year because I need to see if the corpse makes a comeback. Right. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I like how you went the Cowboys this and the Cowboys that. The Cowboys, I'm going with the Bucs. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's getting fired after this weekend, like because you have Sean Payton hanging out there, and I think either Brandon Staley or Mike McCarthy might be finished after this weekend, depending on how their games go. I think and if Sean Payton wasn't available, they might keep their jobs. Making the playoffs is enough, but when you have that. When you like you can't get more A-list than Sean Payton. And
listen,
I think if you lose one of these games, it's worth it.
I don't give
you have the justification to cut the cord.
I don't give a damn who's quarterbacking the Buccaneers. I don't care if it's Tom Brady. Micah Parsons is so freaking nasty. He's a game changer. I'm taking the Cowboys.
I like Tony Pollard too. I like watching that.
I'm a big Zeke guy.
I liked what the Cowboys are doing, right? You're done with Brady's had a terrible year. I say terrible. I shouldn't even say terrible because monster.
It's funny. He actually set an NFL record for most completions.
And he broke his own record from the previous year.
I'm taking the Cowboys over the freaking Bucs. It's listen, your horseshoe of coming into the playoffs and doing work is over with. You know what I'm saying? It's Dak time. Is Pollard time. It's freaking Micah Parsons time. That guy is a problem. He's so damn good. What were you gonna say, Evan?
You know what? I hope Tom Brady gets a text from Giselle before the game and says, "I hope you don't win" or something along those lines. And then Tom Brady's just gonna have a fire spark up from below him, and he's just gonna go out there and throw 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, and be like, is this 2007 or is this 2023? Whatever year it is, he's still going to win.
The best part is we talk about like Brady wasn't very good this year. He didn't do too well this year.
I know.
And then you look and he was 3rd in the NFL in passing yards. And he had a 25-9 touchdown to interception. This is his bad year.
Which
in fairness to Tom, I can speak from experience. I work I'm a divorce lawyer, okay? And so Tom was dealing with a divorce during the regular season. That is an unbelievably consuming emotional process. And so you can't blame Tom if he shows up to work one day and he's not in it, doesn't have the best day at the office. He's going through a divorce.
It's tough.
And so, he settles, right? They've moved on, and you see his play. His play is improving. The further he gets away from the divorce, the more focused he is, the more dialed in he is. I always tell my clients, don't let this divorce consume you. Don't let it spill into your work. And I think it was. He was taking days off work. He was missing training camp. And I see that in my own life where people are taking days off work to deal with the divorce and all this. And you can't have that. So now I think he's rejuvenated. He's got himself a new woman. Tom's winning this divorce, okay? He is winning this because if he gets knocked out, Giselle wins, okay? Yeah. So he's playing for something far more than his teammates or a Super Bowl. He's playing to win the divorce, which is the ultimate prize.
Good for Brady.
So,
wait, you got a new woman?
Are you taking the Bucs over the Cowboys?
Taking the Bucs, absolutely.
Taking the Bucs.
Isn't Tom going out?
You can't kill him.
Yeah, Tom's going out with like what, some like 27, 28-year-old girl.
Yeah,
Tom stay winning.
absolutely.
My
Tom
man.
stay winning. He leaves it. He breaks up with a superstar. My wife was telling me, she's like, "Do you know who Giselle is? She's like the number one. This girl was killing the game." And here Tom's like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll get another one." Tom still keep winning. I gotta ask you this, Jonah. You must see some nastiness in the courtrooms and the things that are said. And here's my question: are men starting to win a little bit in the courtrooms, or is it heavily favored to the women?
You know what? It's much more equal than people realize. And that when my clients go into a court proceeding with the belief that the system is biased against them, that's a loser's defeatist attitude. And you have to believe that if you do the right things, if you care for your kids, that the judge is going to recognize that and award you custody or the judgment that you deserve, right? You cannot, and you have to, just like Skyler Thompson entering Rich Stadium this Sunday, you got to have belief, man. Okay, you got to believe that it's possible. And so no, I don't believe there's a bias against men in family courts. I actually don't see it. It's up to you. If you do the right things, things will work out for the best.
There you go, Jonah, with the freaking from the top rope with that. Because I'm seeing some shit out there. Men are changing their gender just so they can have a shot at getting some custody issues. Anyway, I digress. Let's move on to it. The last but not least, the last pick of the weekend: Bills, Dolphins. Evan, who do you got? I pointed the wrong way.
I mean, I'm going to have to go with the Bills. Obviously, I'm repping the Bills versus Pat's shirt from the last time the Bills played a wild card game versus a divisional opponent. The Bills obviously had their little fun that night against the New England Patriots, and they're going to be looking to have that sort of fun against the Miami Dolphins on Sunday at 1:00. Again, we're going up against Skyler Thompson, a backup quarterback, but you have to take what it's worth. We don't know what type of Skyler Thompson we're going to see. Are we going to see a Skyler Thompson that's dinking and dunking, or are we going to see a Skyler Thompson that's going to be letting it rip to two Pro Bowl receivers? I don't know, but I got the Bills winning. Are we going score predictions right now? Or are we waiting that for the end?
We're gonna save that for Sunday. Save that for Sunday. Kevin, what do you got? Bills, Dolphins.
It's going to be a tight one. Bills are going to win 38-3. Miami might kick a late fourth quarter field goal to make it 38-6
from Mike Lennon.
The only way it's closer is if the Bills are just laughing on the sidelines and like, we dropped a pass, whatever, we'll score next time. We dropped that one, whatever, we're still gonna win. Maybe if they take it too lightly, we can valiant effort and lose like 27-13. But most likely it's going to be 38-3, 38-6.
It's a beatdown. Bridget is a Bucks fan. What's up, Bridget? What's up? Smash that like while you in here, girl. She goes, Cats cut. Listen, I'm a Falcons fan, and Tampa Bay is in our division. They clearly don't watch the Bucks. I pay attention since they are in the same division. Those folks only watch highlights and listen to media. Well, Bridget, with all due respect, we don't just watch the highlights. We watch the games. We see what's going on. I mean, we're not just some casual fans out here. And
I got Brady in 3 pools.
Listen,
and I got Mike Evans in 2. I'm watching Tampa.
We watch. Fantasy people are not just watching the highlights. We find out what's really good. We need to know what's good. And Tom Brady, although statistically has been good, you see the results. He barely got in. In a freaking weak NFC South division. Girl, you better. I mean, listen. I know you're Atlanta, so you right now you're feeling it right now because we're about to play at your stadium probably very soon, and your Atlanta Falcons are just a hot mess right now.
I think she's going the other way, buddy. I think she's saying that he's no good, that we're pumping him up too much.
I feel like she's saying he is good. You don't watch it; he's good. I don't know.
No, she was saying that we're not paying attention. That Tom's been much worse than we.
Okay, so no, she's saying he's worse.
I apologize. Then I'm gonna apologize because
you got to remember, Bridget, we've been victimized by this man for 20 years. Like we've been like my back sore. We've been bent over for so long. So like,
I feel you.
That's where all this comes from. You're right. If we were sitting in the NFC North, maybe or AFC North, maybe we'd have a different perspective. But we've been beaten down.
It's but I'm to the point where I'm listen. He's been our captor for so long, and I'm ready for him to get out of here. So I think the Cowboys will put the beats on it. Mike Parsons is going to be relentless. So I'm with you, Bridget. I'm with you. Listen, I'm taking the Bills over the Dolphins. Whether it's gonna be close or not, I don't know enough about Skyler, but I gotta go back and watch some more Skyler film and then go from there. And this is it, Fish. That's the last of the show. I want to appreciate my guest for coming on, Kevin. He's been here before, aka Papa Peck,
Brother,
aka
I found your Skyler Thompson film.
Oh, there you go. There it is, right in the trash can. We're gonna file it away in the trash can right there. And I want to thank my guys, Jonah and Kevin, for coming on, giving us honest perspective, honest takes. And we don't just stick on Dolphins talk. We got into some other things. So appreciate you both, gentlemen. And Sunday is going to be fun regardless. It's just fun that both our teams are in the playoffs. And you know how the playoffs, man, anything could freaking happen. But just not this Sunday. I'm sorry. I had to put that out there for you. So before we get out of here, I know I do this to Kevin all the time. And I'm going to do it to Jonah as well. Kevin, where can people find you? What podcasts are you on? When are you starting your own podcast? And where social media can they find you?
It's so weird. You always ask me that. Like, I'm not doing anything. I don't know. I'm just like a grumpy old dude on Twitter. I got who is it? Some Bills guy, man. He got heated at me. He's one of those guys. His takes are always really bad, eh? And he just he's one of those like accounts where 75% of his tweets are against Miami and Kansas City. It's all this dude talks about is Tua and Mahomes.
Are you talking about Lance the freaking podcast?
No. He's got like a weird TD 3 names or something, and his like avatars looks like a hipster wearing a Bills thing. Like, I'm sure he's entertaining, whatever. But anyways, so he's put out a tweet this week, and he's like, Miami Dolphin fans, you said Tua's elite. You need to tell me right now if you want to pay $45 million a year or you don't believe in him. I was like, man, this is a bad take. Like, what? Why do we have to decide right now? Well, and then he gives like some examples, right? When about like Josh Allen, I said, no, my man, you're not right here. When Josh Allen had his first big year, there was a lot of fans that wanted to pay him right away. There was a lot of fans though that were like, I'd like to wait one more year. You know what I mean? Because he was such a huge leap from year 2 to year 3.
Yep.
So I said, man, this is Tua's first year where he even played decent. You know, I'm not going to pay this guy right now. I need a larger sample size. Oh, you don't believe in him then? I was like, no, man, that's not how it works. It's like, it's not a yes or no question. It's plus with the injuries in there, you know what I mean? You're not going to roll the dice on $45 million a year for the guy. He's sitting on a treadmill right now. No so doubt. Like, I was like, nah. So anyways, then he's like, then he really got mad. He's like, why are you a douchebag? And I was like, Kevin, man, normally it takes people hours to figure out I'm a douchebag.
Well, you have a douchey face a little bit, so I can.
Well, he actually made fun of my profile picture. He's like, oh, you've got a cropped out glamour photo for you. And I was like, oh man.
I swear, everybody that gets at Kevin, they always go for Kevin's profile picture. I don't know why they love your profile picture. They always try to get him. And
they do. Yeah. He was heated, man. Yeah. I was like, all right.
I don't get that part. So no podcast for my man Kevin, but I keep telling him you better jump on that. Or if you guys are looking for honest takes on sports in general, more football, he will gladly give you the right takes and go from there. And he's got a dry sense of humor, which is just the right touch for everybody. Jonah, where can people find you, man? Where can people find you on social media? Where's your podcast at? What's going on, fam?
Well, that's why I'm so appreciative to be on the show, because you can't find me anywhere. Actually, if you can't find me anywhere, it's sending TD Fins Talk super chats.
There you go.
If you enjoy reading people's super chats and Buffalo Fanatics. But I'm very glad that my wife doesn't look at my credit card statements, because she'd see a lot of super chats and like probably just assume that it's like a cam girl or something, you know?
Oh
it's
my
like, no,
gosh.
I'm telling you. like super chats are just so comments can be read about football.
You know what?
If my wife is watching, I don't know if she's watching, but trust me, it's just football. You know, yeah. I'm not.
Do you watch the 3 yards per carry, or do you know those guys? The 3 yards per carry
I've
guys?
heard of them.
So they have a little like a Discord chat that you can join, and they've cleverly called it Only Fins instead of OnlyFans.
Oh,
and the symbol, like the like the what
oh my gosh,
is actually is the OnlyFans that they've altered to say OnlyFins. So my lady actually saw it. She's like, "Oh, you're on OnlyFans, eh?" And I'd be like, "No, it's a football thing." And she's like, "Don't lie to me." And then I had to literally like scroll through and show her the whole thing, but it was pretty good.
Look, babe, I'm not lying.
It's actually something far more embarrassing than OnlyFans. It's OnlyFins. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Facts.
don't go into detail on OnlyFins, but leave it at that.
Yeah.
So, guys, do me a favor and smash the like for both these two fun guests. And I plan to have these guys more on, even if the Dolphins are not in. I still plan to have these guys on just to talk about it. And listen, man, I don't know if you saw the comment, but you guys should start your own podcast called The Tune. What was it?
The Tua Can.
Tuna Can, I think it was.
The Tua Can podcast.
Tua Can podcast. I mean, it's not
More
bad.
like ready
Not bad,
to
not
be
bad.
let down.
Ready to be let down podcast. Either or, smash that like for both my guys here. By the way, Bridget, I want to apologize to you because I was about to get on your ass saying what Tom Brady, but you and I were agreeing that Tom Brady, I mean, is nice, and he's always gonna be nice no matter what you put towards. But like they didn't have a good year this year, and they backed into it. They backed into the playoffs, and Tom Brady might do some magical things. You just never know. But that's the beauty of having a Hall of Famer in Tom Brady. He's fun to watch, and he's much more enjoyable. Much more enjoyable when he's not on the Patriots. That's for damn sure. Mike Hartle, my man Mike Hartle comes in. What did Mike Hartle say? Jonah needs divorce lawyer soon. Yeah, for real. What is a super chat? Oh, babe, explaining a super chat to the lady must be weird too. Well, I comment, but they don't see my comment. So when I want them to read it, so I give them something. Well, so you pay for you to text something to them? Yes, we do. But I'm supporting them, babe. I'm supporting them. So hopefully she supports us at Buffalo Fanatics and teaching us out. That's it for us, folks. I appreciate you. And here I am saying, I don't want to be here too long. And we're almost 2 hours into this freaking show. I do this all the time.
Yeah, great show, Rico.
Yeah, well, listen, I appreciate you guys. You guys made it great. You guys made it fantastic. And you guys always happen to come with your best. And this is Jonah's second podcast. And this guy's already looking like a vet right here, looking like freaking.
Oh, well done.
Kevin, if you would look at Jonah, does he remind you of anybody that's on TV that talks football?
Oh, what's his name? Yeah, Dan Orlovsky.
Dan Orlovsky.
Dan Orlovsky in the building. We got Papa Peck down here. We got Kevin. I mean, Evan. Who do they always say that you look like? I get it.
I've been told Orlovsky. I've been told Mike McDaniels. I've been told.
No. You know who I'm talking about. The guy that's on the internet that's a smart ass.
Colin Cowherd.
No,
right?
No, smart ass.
I mean, they all are.
Just you guys know who I'm talking about. He's into he's not a political guy, but he does a lot of these TED Talks. And
Ben Shapiro.
looking like a young Shapiro.
Or maybe Kyle Kulinski.
Kyle
You guys
Kulinski.
know Kyle Kulinski?
That was you.
Hey, I got my Seinfeld reference there. Johnny Blaze says I look like Patrick Warburton. That's Putty.
Here we go.
I can see that.
Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I actually,
Evan,
you know what's
can you
funny?
kick footballs?
No, I played soccer. I actually had a couple college offers, and I had the scopes. I had the goggles because I got glasses, so I actually looked like.
So you had the Horace Grant scopes or what?
Just the scopes. We call them scopes. Nothing past the scopes.
I went. Maybe I referenced Horace Grant, and maybe Evan was like, "What? Who the hell?"
No, old Bulls player.
Oh, there you go, Evan.
No. I know basketball. I know basketball. I dabble into basketball.
Love it. Listen, man.
Rico, one more thing. Speaking of Rodrigo Blankenship,
yep.
I too wore the sport goggles on the football field. Do you recall?
I
the Invaders together. I
Wait,
had the sport goggles.
Did he truck you doing it? Did you truck Rico doing it?
He was a quarterback. He was always.
I just can't touch my eyeball, so I'd rather wear sport goggles than get contacts. And there was the one good pass I had all season. I hit a deep shot, and there's a defender after the play. He's like, guys, are you fucking kidding me? He has goggles on.
Man, fuck that guy. Anyway, hit us up. And that's what you get. Listen, those scopes give you a little bit of better accuracy. So if you have to wear them, then do what you got to do. Shout out to my girl Bridget Kelsey. Great show, guys. I caught the end of it. Great host as well. I appreciate it, Miss Bridget. I hit that like and subscribe. My girl, let me give you some love. Let me give my girl some love. I haven't used my horn in. That sounds very weird what I just said. I haven't used.
Yeah, where's the bell? What happened to the bell?
The bell is here. I've been banging this bell. I've been banging this bell all day that it broke, so I gotta get a new one. So what I've been doing, I've been rectified to being ghetto and banging it like that. Bing, biggity, bing. You guys already know what it is. But anyways, let me get out of here, folks. My man Evan, my guy Jonah, my guy Kev. Those are my guys, and we hope to see you guys again when the Bills win against the Dolphins. I'm putting the positive jujus out there, and then we get ready for the Bengals. Or we get ready for the Ravens. We'll never know. So, folks, you guys have a great night. Shout out to my guy Bobby that runs Instagram. We're at 100,000 freaking followers on Instagram. This guy is a monster.
Love that account.
He does what he does. And by the way, this is a side note. For those that are familiar with Facebook and have been ever disabled, they disabled my freaking Facebook account. I don't know why. I'm not always on it. But the fact is I have mad pictures of my kids and all that stuff, and they wipe my shit clean. So if you guys know how to get my shit back, hit me up, and we'll try to figure out a way. But anyway, that is that. You guys have a great night, and let me cue my music here because I know that Kevin loves this music in the background. I don't know if Kevin's going to give us a little shimmy with his shoulders when this music comes on, because sometimes if he's not belly up to the bar, he's on the dance floor having a good time, and that's my guy, Kevin Guerard. So I like to make myself laugh when I do that shit. But anyway,
I love this outro song. Great outro. Gets me fired up.
So you guys have yourself a great freaking weekend, and we'll see you guys back on Sunday pregame show. Evan, you done a pregame show? You going to the end of the game?
I'll be at the game, man. Wait, so I got to say my score prediction now. I won't be there.
Oh, say your score prediction. What do you got?
42-17. Bills win by 25.
Wow.
We're not scoring 17
I'm
points.
impressed with the math, man. I couldn't have calculated that fast.
We're not scoring 17
Hey,
points.
the scopes.
I appreciate it.
Wow. Well, there that is.
for a reason.
Evan comes in with a fucking aggressive score prediction when we haven't put up 45 points in forever. He thinks we're going to be putting up points that we did against the Patriots, but maybe he's putting that out there so we can do.
I'm wearing the shirt for a reason, man.
Hey, there it is, folks. So you guys have yourself a fantastic evening. We will catch you guys on the flip side, and until next time, go Bills. Kevin,
And you're gone? Oh,
you're supposed to go Bills. Go
Oh,
Bills.
I'm not saying that, yeah.
Evan,
Go Bills.
get in
Go
there.
Bills.
Ends up.
Anyways, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.